The Deshaun Watson sweepstakes have officially begun. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL. And if you are new to the channel, guys, welcome. Make sure to go ahead and subscribe because I do talk a lot of NFL on this channel. And you don't want to miss out. I'll be here all off season talking about the hottest NFL topics. So make sure you are locked here by hitting the bell icon to be notified every time I drop a new video, and also follow me on my social media links down below for my Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. So, you see the topic. You see what we're talking about. Let's get into it. So why am I making this video? Well, because now the sweepstakes to acquire Deshaun Watson have officially begun. It is go time. It is time to get serious. Folks, everybody should know, if you don't know, you probably live under a rock, that Deshaun Watson isn't happy with the Houston Texans, right? And I've made plenty of videos about that. You guys can go check those out. Plenty of coverage on it. We know the deal. But we had always thought, probably not going to happen. It's a little bit too much of a fantasy. The Texans would never trade him. We know how hard it is to get a top 5, top 7 quarterback in this league. Not going to happen. Nice to talk about. But as the days have gone on, we're starting to get news that is just absolutely alarming, which is Deshaun Watson wants out of Houston. Just straight up, Deshaun Watson and his relationship with the Texans is not fixable. Deshaun Watson doesn't see himself playing another snap for the Houston Texans. He's not picking up their calls. The Texans have already begun talking to teams to just see what the asking price would be. I mean, now it's on. Okay, so that's why I'm here to tell you guys that now it's time to talk about actual factual offers. Like, now we're cooking. All right, before it was nice to talk about a long shot, we'll see. Now it's serious. All right, and we've got serious suitors, and I believe this is seriously going to happen. So for everybody saying it's a pipe dream, nope, no longer the case. I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson to a certain team is a lock, whether that be the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bears, etc. But what I'm saying is I believe now Deshaun Watson is getting traded. And here's a reason why, and a couple of reasons. First and foremost, Adam Schefter said this, and it shocked me. It shocked me because of the fact of how rare it is. And I had alluded to it earlier, but just hearing it from Adam Schefter, obviously one of the biggest news sources of the NFL, it hits different. And he basically said that Deshaun Watson, his trade request, if you will, and he hasn't really officially sent a trade request, I'm sure he will, is almost an NBA style trade, if you will. Okay, we just saw a disgruntled Houston star, not Watson, in James Harden, force his way out of Houston. And we know in the NBA, the stars run the show, right? We know that. If a star wants out, he gets what he wants. The team trades him. In the NFL, not so much. We've seen in the NFL, the teams, the owners, the league, they run the league, not the players, okay? That's why when you get a good quarterback, they stay with the team forever because the team never lets them go. And even if the players want out, they really don't have a choice. Like, quarterbacks hitting free agency market, it's so rare. And when it does happen, they get overpaid like crazy. Kirk Cousins, right, comes to mind when he hit the free agency market. So Adam Schefter basically said this is an NBA-style trade because Deshaun Watson has a no-trade clause. So he gets to decide where he goes, not the Texans. The Texans can't just say, we're trading you to Jacksonville, even though that would never happen because they're going to draft Trevor Lawrence. But point being is the Texans can't force it. Deshaun Watson has to agree, and because of that, because of the no-trade clause, because of the fact that Deshaun Watson, pretty much has made it known that he wants out, this has all of the signs of an NBA-style trade, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, with Deshaun Watson, now that I've heard that other teams have started calling the Texans, now they know too. Now they know, okay, it's open season, all right? Even if it's a team that, might not need a quarterback, like let's say the Raiders, they're probably thinking, why not just ask? What's the harm in asking? Let's just see what the asking price is. So now there are teams calling the Texans. So ultimately, folks, what I'm here to tell you is this, I believe, is going to happen. I believe Deshaun Watson is going to get traded because here's the thing. Chemistry is huge, especially in football, which is, such a team sport, more so than any other team sport. And you can't have a guy who's unhappy, disgruntled. I'm not saying it's impossible for Deshaun Watson to come back, but I believe the damage is done. This is very similar to the James Harden trade request. James Harden said there's nothing that can be done to fix this. It's over. And with Deshaun Watson, I believe the same thing. Now, I told you I've made videos on who I believe the realistic contenders are. We're hearing a lot of teams like the Jets with a lot of draft capital. We're hearing a lot of teams like the Dolphins, again, draft capital because they have a high pick. The Dolphins have the third pick, Jets have the second pick. And then we've got the team like the Bears, right? Which I want, obviously, Deshaun Watson to go to being a Bears fan, but the Bears don't have a very enticing draft pick. They have the 20th overall pick. Now, it's not going to be just one draft pick. We know that it'll take multiple, and more so than that, probably a young star player as well. But now is not the time to play around. You got to go full force. So if the Bears are serious about Deshaun Watson, if the Jets are serious about Deshaun Watson, if the Dolphins are serious about Deshaun Watson, it's time. It's time to pick up the phone, make that call, and see what it takes. And if you are serious, you're not going to hang up the phone until you get a deal done. Straight up. So it's time to expect that out of these general managers. Now, again, certain teams, I believe it doesn't make sense. Like the Jets are rebuilding. Why would Deshaun want to go there? Dolphins, are they really ready to give up on Tua after just a season? Maybe not. Denver makes a little bit of sense to me. The Colts, they're a division rival. The Bears, I think they're a good fit. But again, they don't have a high draft pick. So is there anything enticing there for the Texans? I don't know. So there's a lot of options. But now is the time. Now is the time. And I'll tell you this much. About the Texans. If I'm the Houston Texans, obviously I want draft picks in return. But if you're trading away Deshaun Watson, why would I want any player that's past his prime or even in his prime, if you will, or at the edge of it? I want to rebuild. So give me all the young players. So, I've been hearing like weird trade talks about what if the Rams give up Aaron Donald? I don't think the Texans want Aaron Donald. What if the Bears give up Khalil Mack? I don't think the Texans want Khalil Mack. That's not to say those players aren't good. They're very good. They're very elite. But we know that they are either, in the middle of their prime or at the back end of it. And their best years might not be ahead of them. And instead, they might be behind them. Instead, I'd rather get all the draft picks in the world. If you're going to give me a player, give me a young star, like who's literally about to enter his prime or hasn't even entered it yet. So I want young player and picks. I don't want a star who's currently a star. I want an ascending one. I want to rebuild, right? You can't trade Deshaun Watson and want to just, retool it. That's a full rebuild right there. So essentially, folks, now is the time. I'm expecting a lot of these GMs to pick up the phone and start calling the Texans, and I believe a trade is going to happen. We have to see, obviously, what team it ends up being. Selfishly, I do want it to be the Chicago Bears, but there's going to be a lot of teams in the suitor pool for the Texans. Again, I've mentioned the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bears, the Colts will probably try as well, the Broncos, the Patriots, pretty much every team is going to try, that obviously doesn't have a quarterback. So should be fun, folks. I can't wait. I'm going to bring you guys that coverage the entire offseason. So make sure you're locked in right here, man. Stay tuned. And as always, thanks for watching.